How do you feel about the Minnesota Wild?
A lot better after tonight. After watching that Capitals game, had me a little down, but tonight I think they looked great, and I think this is definitely a playoff team and a team that can make noise in the playoffs. So I think in general I'm feeling pretty positive right now.
Simon, tell me, what does noise mean to you? Does that mean they are truly competing in the first round? Does that mean they make it past the first round? Like, what is noise?
Yeah, I think that they have the ability to get past the first round. I think this team has the talent. I think they have, once they kind of figure out, obviously you're still early in the season, you're moving guys around, whether we're going to stick with Kaprizov and Boldy together up top, if we're going to split them up to get some of that scoring lower. I think this team does have the talent, and when they really find their groove, they've already looked great. I've liked how many shots on net they're getting. I do think this team can get past the first round. Will they? That's the question Minnesota Wild fans have been asking themselves for years now. But do I think they're a true Stanley Cup contender? Probably not. But do I think that they can go further than they have the last several years? I do.
Yeah, they could fuck around and find out for sure. So that's a lot of optimism. Tell me, like, what, if anything, gives you the most pause in everything you just said?
I'm worried about I will say Tarasenko so far has concerned me. I was higher on him when we did make the move. I thought he could get back to form. I think he still can. It's been not the fastest start for him, but I think the question is, you have your established guys in Kaprizov and Boldy and Gus in that, and we have a good decor. It's who's going to step up in the offense, either the vets or the young guys. And I loved seeing Urov step up tonight because I think that that's huge, especially with Rossi out. And ideally, it's some combination of both. If we can get scoring out of your Urovs and Buiums, and also out of your Hartmans and Johanssons, that's awesome. But if either one of those, or especially if both of those are lacking, that's when you get into that worry territory with secondary scoring.
That's fair. Anything that's like top of mind for you right now, whether it's stuff you've seen people arguing about online, or call us out if there's stuff you think we've talked about where we're way off, or things you want to get more into, like anything you want to just like debate, discuss as it relates to the Minnesota Wild.
I think the number one thing that comes to mind for me is that I do definitely understand what you guys were kind of talking about with flexibility with Ohgren and wanting to have him get time at Iowa. I agree with that. I agree with it less for Jiricek. I think we need to give Jiricek some run. I know he hasn't looked great at some of his times. I do know that Bogosian looked pretty good the games he played. But I think if you want Jiricek to be one of the future pieces of this defense, you kind of just got to say, we're going to give him at least 15 or 20 games to see what he can do. And if it's not working, you got to figure something else out. You got to pivot. But I would be, if I were, Hines or Billy G, I would be keeping Jiricek starting just about every game.
That's reasonable.
Like
Z,
that.
you got anything?
No. Yeah, we like that. We need the Jiricek. We need the young fellas. Let them cook. Let them play. I think that's what we talked about earlier with Jiricek too. Like, I don't even care who he's playing with. Just let him play. Let him make those mistakes. Let him play through it. I think that's the only way he's going to learn at this point in his career too. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm trying to think too. I would love to know, just as people who we get fucking very funny tweets sent at us about how we're dumb. Is there specific things that you disagree with strongly with us? Because I would love to fucking just iron these out sometimes with people where I'm like, I don't know what the sometimes I get yelled at. I'm like, I think we're saying the same thing.
And to be clear too,
if not, that's fine.
I would argue that we don't even have feelings. Like, our feelings can't be hurt. As long as you don't come and tell me that Kalen Addison should be burned at the stake, we're cool.
Yeah, we're good, dude.
No, I am fully with you on the Kalen Addison. There is still a piece of my heart that believes that Kalen Addison is going to work out.
I don't believe it anymore. I believe that he should have if he was given the proper runway, like we're talking about with Jiricek.
Yeah. No, I mean, I gotta say, Isha putting Ohgren over buium is certainly something. That is.
You know what?
Did not see that coming.
That 100%. I am just thrilled it wasn't Stevie Leskovar. That's all I need, because what was the bit for a couple of years? It was first off, and he literally just did it because he was first. Isha takes this 90% seriously, and then he has to do something because he thinks that it's gonna make for a fun talking point. Ohgren at 1 is very, very tame for Isha, so we're okay with it. And you are 100% right to criticize that ranking. So
yeah, I would say the only other thing, and I don't even know that I fully disagree with it, but I thought having, I don't remember who it was, but having Stramel as high as they did, I think that's a spot to plant your flag. That's you're putting your name on that, and whether it works out or not, that's a take. I don't even know that I disagree with it. I'd love to see Stramel succeed. I like the start that he's off to this year. I think point per game so far. But that's what's your thinking behind that? I didn't catch that part of the prospect rankings.
Yeah, and it's tough. And I know Z echoes a lot of what I'll say here, but he can expand on it if he wants. But for me, it's tough doing these prospect rankings because it's a bit of a moving target with what my rationale is. Like, some guys I'm picking because of the ceiling. Some guys I'm picking because of the floor. Some guys I'm picking because of just, hey, I know they're an NHLer, and that's the Charlie Stramel bit for me. Last year when we did this, I had him ranked low teens. He was probably like 12 or 13. And I pretty much said, this is the year. He's out of Wisconsin. No more bullshit. He's either going to show me that he's a surefire NHL prospect, or that I should just stop paying attention like everyone online says. He went out and did the fucking thing. He's already showing this year that he's going to keep doing the thing, but it's just, he has a place on this team. He will be an impactful player. Is he going to go out and score 30 goals? Probably never in his career. But is he going to go out and play meaningful minutes and contribute in every aspect of the game? Yep. At least that's how I feel right now. So
I love it.
Me putting him at 5 in my top 20 list was knowing that he is part of this team, period. Whereas there's a lot of other guys where if their ceiling hits, they're better players than Charlie Stramel. My son within this pool is Riley Heidt. I love him. If he hits a ceiling, he is a better player than Charlie Stramel. His floor is a lot lower than Charlie Stramel's, and that's why I've got him. I think I had Heidt at 7. I think 7 is what I had him. I'll go back and double check that. But yeah, so I absolutely understand people pushing back on it, especially because Wallstedt was the one that fell victim to it. Again, I really, really liked what I saw from Stramel, and with the way that people online just absolutely bashed this kid when he got drafted, begged for Gabe Perreault, and now Gabe Perreault, like, we still don't know, like, where is his fit in the NHL? There's definitely a part of me that feels the need to defend Charlie Stramel, but after last year, like, it's not even that. Like, I'll say that's a 10% factor. Like, I just believe this kid is a no shit bottom 6, probably third line center long term in the NHL.
I'd love it. I'd love it both for, for the story of, being that kind of hated on when he first got picked and coming out, and if he can provide value, and then also, you gotta cheer for the Minnesota kids when they're coming up through the system.
For sure. And hand up, I was surprised when they made the pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Z, you had him when we did your mock like a week and a half prior. I think you had him at like 28, 29. And there are a lot of people that are like, who the hell is this guy? Like, earlier in that year, if we did the way too early rankings, you would have had him at like, what, 10?
Yeah, I mean, he was coming into the draft season, he was a top 15 pick, but like just terrible situation for him to end up at Wisconsin, like not playing, getting hurt,
Terrible
getting
situation
hurt
for
again.
anyone ending up in Wisconsin for any reason.
Yeah, if he doesn't have the AARP card. Yeah, I mean, like again, like just watching him forever, like again, like watch this kid play since he's like 14, 15 years old. Like he has this big kid, plays an NHL style game, super physical, like to the point where like you had to like reel him in a little bit. Like he would snap quite like too easy. Like it was at the point where it's like, yeah, we'd love that you have that like short wick, but like you have to like reel it in a little bit here. But he also had the skill, and like the kid that skates as well as he does at his size and plays well defensively as he does, and then you like add in like he does have the skill. He just like never really had an opportunity before Michigan State to like show it off. I mean, like again, super high floor with flashes of high end offense. Again, like is he going to hit high end offense in the NHL? No, like they're never going to ask him to do that. But I think he can fill a ton of roles in an NHL lineup. And it's not a guy that you're like his whole career is going to like be like an 8-minute a night guy. He's going to be able to chip in solid minutes, relieve all of your other forwards of some of those hard minutes too. But like we've seen what he can do offensively now that he's been given that rope at Michigan State. And like I think the second game against BU this weekend was his first game this year. He didn't put up at least 1 point. But I think even then he still finished like a +2. Like he's just like a solid all-around player, super high floor, but he has flashes of the offense. So I think like he's just gonna be a really solid NHL player. I think he's gonna be a guy that like whenever Michigan State season ends, they can kind of like see what he's got. And again, you're not gonna be asking a whole lot from him outside of just like come in, play a couple shifts, see what you can do. Like he's gonna bang bodies, he's gonna defend well, and like he is just like fun to watch from the standpoint of like he's gonna hit everything that fucking moves. Like he really is like
we can't
he's
go
like
an episode
he's
without
Billy
mentioning the
G's.
Gruba hit, can we?
Yeah,
Is that
the
possible?
Gruba hit is just, yeah, that was a murder. But especially considering Tom Wilson killed a guy this week, and then like they reviewed it, no penalty. It was like poor Heedle, Jesus Christ. But like I think especially knowing Billy G, knowing the way that he wants this team to play, like Charlie Stramel is just like his perfect player. And again, like it's not just this big dude that hits everything that moves. That yeah, sure has hands. Like he can move. Like he's a solid skater for a guy his size. So and like watching him win pucks, like even when he's not just like absolutely laying someone out in the forecheck, he is really good at just coughing pucks up, creating offense that way too. So I think he's just solid. So big fan of Stramel. If you can like this year, the big jump I want to see is just like if you can do it with the processing speed, and kind of like make passes, make speed. That's going to take his offense to a whole other level too. So I don't know. We love Charlie Stramel here. Always have, always will, and I think he's going to be a really solid NHL player whenever he gets here.